The current exam system, comprising GCSEs, A-levels, SATs, international exams like the IELTS, the IB, the MYP program, and so on, they all face significant criticism for falling short, for failing to represent a holistic measure of a student's education, for being essentially box-ticking exercises, programming to recite the answer which is, at this moment, agreed upon as correct. But answers change, and these various exams that we've got to no longer develop the methodology which can be transferred from subject to subject. Whilst exams are a long-standing way to assess knowledge, the mechanistic nature of the current system turns learning into an exercise in rote memorization and standardized responses, both by the students and by the teachers. When I first started teaching, marking an essay was about reading it 2 or 3 times to gather an idea of what the resultant grade would be, and then to find proof that one's hunch was correct. Now it's about ticking off various metrics, and it's very formulaic. It doesn't really allow for great brilliance, and I'm afraid it doesn't really catch the great failure. This method risks programming students to chase predefined answers rather than nurturing critical thinking, creativity, or adaptability. They are the 3 resources, the 3 qualities essential in a modern workforce, and we're not actually encouraging those. The problem is compounded by the disparity in resources between private and state schools, perhaps. That I have to say now, because that is one of the things currently in debate. The data from Ofqual highlights that a significantly higher percentage of private school students receive access arrangements such as additional time, showcasing a system that not only skews towards those with better support, but also exacerbates educational inequality. But there's no reason for that. The reason for that is simply the inadequate timetable and inadequate staffing in state schools, the inadequate resourcing. And this kind of advantage allows some students to secure higher grades, which translates to better opportunities, creating a cycle that prioritizes exam outcomes over genuine learning. But there's a very small proportion of people who get extra time. It's getting larger as the years go by to a point of absurdity. But all schools should be equipped to be able to provide that opportunity. And maybe the way forward, if we're going to continue to have national exams, is to have exam centres where students of all backgrounds can assemble for these national exams at a particular national timetable, rather than in their own schools. If we wish to have national exams and we wish to question, or at least not trust, the teachers in the classroom, then that is the way to go, is it not? And to hire invigilators into these huge halls where all the students from a locality will be examined together. The practice of teaching to the test reduces education to a narrow pursuit of exam success, sidelining broader intellectual development, and students become adept at filling in boxes and regurgitating rehearsed responses instead of acquiring skills like problem-solving, collaboration, and resilience, skills that underpin lifelong learning and adaptability in a fast-changing job market. The Education Secretary, Bridget Phillipson, calls for a system that values well-being and a sense of belonging. And she's right, that is vital. It acknowledges that grades alone do not equip students for a happy, healthy life or contribute meaningfully to our society. Emphasizing well-being and a well-rounded curriculum that includes arts, music, physical education, subjects which may not necessarily have exams linked to them, can foster a generation better prepared for varied challenges and opportunities. This balanced approach should inform future educational reform, focusing on comprehensive development rather than tunnel vision around very poor exam results. Better than even that, I would suggest we revise the way exams are conducted and set. So I think we need to be looking at both things. I think we need to be looking at a more rounded education and better targeted exams probably in a much larger variety of subjects. If we were to streamline education so that we could import the resources, let's say as computer-based information or television-based information, video-based information, even interactive video-based information, then we would free up the teachers to be able to manage classes that are actually teaching a variety of subjects. And that, I think, would be the way forward, so that students realise that no one subject is better than another. They are all access to the same wealth of methodology and opportunities in problem solving, in collaboration, in resilience, in rehearsing ideas, in creative thinking, in critical thinking, in adaptability. These are the tools that we should be teaching.